First of all, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing really, really good. I'm excited to talk to you. I'm super excited.
Thank you. I'm
Uh,
excited as well.
all right. So look, normally, and I do this every show. I could give everybody your bio.
Okay.
I could tell it in my voice, from my perspective. But I want you to tell your bio, your story, your way. So kind of tell my audience about who you are, how you got into basketball, and then of course how you got into the WNBA.
Cool. Let's see. I don't know where to start. Well, I'm Tiffany Mitchell. I'm originally from Charlotte, North Carolina. I went to college at the University of South Carolina. I've been playing basketball since I was 7, 8 years old. Originally, I started playing with guys um, at first, and played AAU also with women. After I started on the all boys team, so I kind of started playing basketball just from following my brother, being around him, just being, that annoying little sister, just kind of wanted to be in the mix, and actually just took a liking to basketball. Originally, I feel like it came from just him always coming home with trophies and, him winning things. And like I said, I was just the sister that just went to all his games and was just around. So I think originally like my liking to basketball came off of knowing that he was winning stuff. So I feel like I just wanted to win at something. So
I feel you.
yeah.
I'm the same way.
I'm like, I need some trophies in this house. Like, it's just him. So I'm like,
Right.
how is he coming home with all these trophies? So my mom was like, he plays basketball. So I mean, originally that's really why I wanted to start playing basketball, was because I just wanted to win at something. I never knew that it would put me in the position that I am today, and having this as my career. But once I saw, kind of just, my potential, and other people saw the potential in me as well, even my family, they pushed me, to go even further than what I even imagined for myself. It started as something that I just wanted to do, and then it became a passion of mine. And then once that happened, I just wanted to take it to the next level, and be the best that I could. So, I mean, just with that mindset, it propelled me into, like I said, going to the WNBA and, playing basketball for a living.
I love that. So I gotta ask this question because I know it's true for me. So I grew up with three
Hmm.
brothers. One was my twin brother, and I had an older brother.
Okay.
So doesn't it make a difference? And don't hate everybody in the comments. Don't hate, but doesn't it make a difference when you grow up with like brothers,
Yeah,
as far as how how athletically inclined you're gonna be?
absolutely. I mean, I feel like I was the only girl in my family that even was athletic or wanted to even play a sport. I grew up definitely very much a tomboy. Like,
Me
I
too.
hated wearing dresses. I'm like, I wanted to roll in the dirt, jump over stuff,
Facts.
climb
Facts.
trees. But
Yep.
I mean, that just came from me always being around guys and just being rough and just being around them. So I never really saw like how women like carry themselves more feminine when I was younger. Of course, as I got older, I grew into the woman that I am today. So now I'll get my nails done, my lashes done,
Facts.
my hair done, everything is all, it's the complete opposite of how I grew up. But definitely
Yeah.
around boys makes you grow real rough and tough.
Man, I try to explain that to everybody. A lot of people don't understand that when you're a tomboy,
Yeah.
like it's almost like you're guaranteed to be somewhat good at sports.
Yeah.
So look, I love just getting a confirmation from you.
Sure.
So you kind of explain, your, I guess, so would you say that your older brother was kind of like your role model when it came to basketball
For sure.
growing up?
That's kind of just where it started. That's why I saw basketball in my household. My dad, he used to play basketball as well, but I didn't see it from him as often. So it definitely was my brother who kind of even introduced me to the game of basketball just from him playing. And then I was fortunate enough to have, the Charlotte Sting when they were the WNBA team in Charlotte. So I was able to go see, women playing at the highest level at a young age. So a lot of people didn't get that, that are my age, and they kind of just starting to now come into the WNBA and be able to watch it. It's on TV now, and more people are starting to support it. But, 10, 15 years ago, no one was really talking about the WNBA, and I was really fortunate enough to, just have it in my backyard. So I would still go to games, take pictures with the players. So I saw it real
I love
early,
that.
something to, aspire to.
I love that. I love that. Now that's important. The fact that you actually got to grow with a professional team in your city, man, that
Yeah.
makes, I didn't get that. So that makes all the difference. So I love that. So it was almost destiny then, in a way.
I would think so. It was definitely full circle because Dawn Staley, my college coach, she actually played for the Charlotte Sting when I was younger. Like, literally,
Wow.
I feel like life is just full circle, really. So like, not knowing where I would be going with basketball, I just like basketball. I like watching women play basketball. And Dawn Staley was one of my favorite players growing up. So
Wow.
as I got
Then she
older,
became your coach. Wow. So
it's crazy. Like really,
what question coming next? Like, what was it like being coached by her? Like, we got to know that, man, because she's a
yeah.
beast. Like, I was on a panel with
Uh-huh.
her, and just her energy and her mindset. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
dang. Like, I already know if you're a athlete of hers, she on your
Yeah.
ass. So
She definitely does not play. I mean, I think, she has to have that mindset because she's taken, 17-year-old girls and, trying to raise them basically into women when you're in that 4 years in college. So, she kind of has that approach, which what I liked because it was like a motherly approach. So knowing that I'm leaving, my mom and the discipline that she instilled in me, I was getting it nonstop with Dawn too. So it definitely just helped me grow as a person and a player into the woman that I am today because she teaches you a lot of lessons that are outside of basketball. And I feel like, with parents and you're giving away your child in college, you never know how they'll come out,
yeah, man. Yeah.
Those 4 years, who knows,
Who they're
what's
gonna be,
going on.
right?
Yeah. So she tries her best to at least, position us and, give us the mindset to be successful. If that's even, we're still playing basketball after we leave college or whatever field we choose to go into. I think she does a great job of just preparing us for life itself.
I love that. I love that. So, with Dom being your college coach, do you feel like she kind of helped you make the transition into the WNBA like a little bit easier? Or
Oh yeah, for
okay.
sure. I mean, just having a player like her, like that when she used to play, and just having her as a coach, like I said, the mindset that she teaches you, the discipline that you need to be a professional, it starts in college, and it doesn't just happen overnight. So I think those 4 years under her definitely prepares you and gets you ready to take on the grind of actually being a professional athlete. You don't know until you're there. So she can tell you, she can give you tools and everything, but I mean, that's her job, is to just help us and prepare us as best as possible and put us in the position to succeed. And what we do with that is kind of on us and how we approach the game.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
So speaking of, transitioning into the pros, what has been your biggest challenge transitioning from college to pro and just dealing with like that new world? Because it's definitely different.
Yeah. I would say early on, for me, I think it was the mental side of it. I feel like a lot of people don't realize, sport and just athletics in general. Like, I feel like 90% of it is your mentality and your mental. 10%, of course, you have to be good and physically ready to compete. But a lot of that goes into just your day-to-day routine and how you approach the game and how you think about the game. And I feel like for me, I was fortunate, in college when I'm younger, just to be physically gifted and better than a lot of people than I was competing against. But mentally, I've had some injuries throughout my career, which kind of set me back. So now the physical part, is gone. You don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
So now, like, I always leaned on that. That was my go-to. Like, look, I'm gonna outwork you. I'm gonna be more fit than you. I'm gonna be stronger than you. I'm gonna be faster. So, I'm trying to just like, that's what I leaned on. That was my bread and butter. And then like, when you take that away, it's like, okay, well, who am I? What type of player am I really if you take all of that away? So I feel like mentally, coming into the league, that's where I had to grow the most and just get used to, thinking the game more. Because now I'm competing against people who are bigger than me, who are faster than me, who are a lot stronger than me. So it's like, I can't go toe to toe, which what I used to do. So it's like mentally, you have to separate yourself in some way and just find what you're good at and just be the best at that. You can't try to do everything. Like I said, find what you feel like is your go-to and just try to be that every day.
Okay. So what was your biggest challenge, I guess, like in your biggest challenge as far as your career? Because I know you just talked about injury. And I know obviously injury for an athlete, man, that I don't think people understand that it's almost like a death of like of almost who you are because you can't be that.
Yeah.
And I try to explain that because I know I tore my ACL. Guess dang, it's almost been 2 years ago now. And I'm finally, about to hit the football field again. But when I was in it, and people were like, "Oh man, you got it. You're gonna be okay." You're like, it's not that deep. I'm like, "What you mean? Like this is who I've been since I was 4 years old, right? I've been an athlete since I was 4. Never had a summer off. Always was training. Always was at camp or doing something. So when that part of who you are is no longer there, the mentality, the mental part is literally what you're battling with at that point. So when you got those injuries, how did you overcome just like that depth of who you weren't once were, who you once were, and then now who you are in that moment. Because, like you said, you're no longer the basketball player. You're no longer able to go out there and
Mhm.
compete. So how were you able to deal with that?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit it right on the head. Just, it feels like a death. Like you really have to recreate, the person you are, the athlete you are. And sometimes, honestly, I feel like after each one of my injuries, I became a better player, a better person, just because I have to mentally fight through a lot of adversity and struggles that I probably wouldn't have, thought about when I'm still playing. The world is good and happy once if you can play your sport every day, you waking up, just feeling good about yourself. But like I said, like once that's taken away and you're dealing with, not being able to do something that you love and that you've been doing literally your entire life, you really do have to figure out who you are outside of your sport. And I think I've done a great job recently, was kind of just choosing myself. At the end of the day, I know I can't play basketball forever,
Yeah.
until I'm 40. So I know
Wait,
that,
how old are
no,
you?
I'm only 29. So
Oh, I'm about to say, girl, don't play with
no.
me.
I'm nowhere near 40.
Okay.
Lord Jesus, no.
Okay, so you
I
got
got
plenty of time. You got
some
plenty
time.
of
I got some
time.
time. But I also know I can't play for 20 more years. And
Yeah.
honestly, I don't want to.
Yeah.
So, the game has just given me so many amazing experiences. And I think, we just hang our hats on being an athlete. And then as you get outside of that and you lose that aspect of yourself by having an injury, you have to, like I said, figure out just kind of who you are outside of your sport. And that goes a long way. Just, changing just your routine on how you think and how you approach the game. Like I said, mentally, I had to change a lot of things on how I approach the game because it was just so easy for me just to get up and go. Like, I cleared my mind and felt better about myself when I went to the gym.
Yeah.
So now that I can't do that, it's like, how am I just going to go every day
Yeah.
depressed because,
Yeah.
I can't play or I can't move. So you find different things that I feel like, makes you who you are outside of your sport. And I think that's kind of how you can, navigate and figure out, the best of your ability until you're able to play your sport
Mm,
again.
man, I love that. That's some great advice. So, who is Tiffany off the court? Like, who are you when you're not playing basketball, when you're not in the gym, when you're just your authentic self? Who are you?
I would explain, let me see. Who am I?
That's
I
not
would
like such a simple
yeah.
question, right? But it make you think.
I would say if you would have asked somebody like who was Tiffany or like describe her, I'm pretty goofy. I like to have a good time, enjoy myself. I'm super big on just like self-care and maintenance. Like I said, like I always get my nails done, my lashes done. I'm finding anything that makes me feel good.
I love that.
Just body wise, mind wise. Um, so like I said, I just try to make sure at the end of the day, like I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
That just helps me kind of just go through my day better and just being organized. That's really the person I am. Super OCD. I'll put that in there. Like I said, everything in my house is very organized, put together. And I think I also carry myself that way too. If you see me, you would say, she puts herself together pretty well. And just how I carry myself and how I think.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. Okay. So, with that being said, let's kind of dive into like, your team. So kind of tell us about, so this is your first year, correct?
With
Playing with your
Minnesota, yeah.
yeah, with Minnesota, right? So what are you looking the most forward to? Because I know obviously you have the jitters, is new,
Yeah.
you have the team dynamics and all of that. How let's touch on that first. The team dynamics. How are you feeling about that right now?
Yeah, so I mean, my situation is a little different than a lot of people in the W. I spent my first 7 years with one team, which usually never happens unless you're kind of like I would say like star power. Like like you're going to be there for a long time. A lot of times the W is very unpredictable, so you don't know unless you sign certain contracts if you're going to be there or not.
Yeah.
So like I said, my situation is a little unique, being that I stayed with one team for 7 years. So like this going into with this being my eighth season with Minnesota and going to a new team for the first time. Of course, it's a little nerve wracking. Definitely your anxiety levels are going up because you just don't know what to
Yeah.
expect. I was so used to certain things and the people, the organization when I was in Indiana. So each year, you know, it was easy for me just to kind of just go pack up and go back and forth between my life. So now Minnesota was like, all right, well, let me see, you know, how this organization is. How is it playing with these coaches? It's a whole entire new team.
Yeah.
How am I going to, you know, gel and mesh with them? These are a lot of things that was going on in my head, but also still having to, you know, show up and do your job, you know, well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, it was a breath of fresh air. So I think I needed something different than what I had for those 7 years, a change of scenery, a change of people, just how people thought, and the organization itself treated me great. You know, it was honestly night and day for me and how I felt mentally. Like I said, I needed that break from something that I was so used to and just the everyday, I would say just grind of, you know, being in one place all the time. I think it benefited me a lot more to just see something different and be, you know, with a different group of girls. And, you know, I enjoyed my first year. I'm excited to go back for my second year and kind of just build on, you know, what I already started there.
I love that, man. Well, good luck. I can't wait to see you in year 2. I know you're going to kill it.
Thank you.
I know we're all looking forward to it. So Tiffany, I got to ask this question because it's been a great debate, right? You know, the rim situation.
Oh,
we got to talk about it. Look, this is a safe space.
Oh my God.
Look, it's woman to woman right now.
Right.
So this rim conversation, do you personally feel that if the rim was lowered, the game would be faster, you would get more people in seats, you know, things like that? I gotta ask. And I'm saying that because I know for football, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a debate about should women play with, you know, the NFL size football, and we end up playing with youth, and there is a difference, right? Because obviously our hands are smaller, things like that. Now, would that make a huge difference if we just figured out how to utilize the actual NFL football and you know, figure it out? I don't think so, but it was what it was, right? So what are your thoughts?
If you can't tell by my face already,
I know, look, I just gotta ask.
I do not think we should lower the rims. Like, what we do is very, I mean, we're basketball players, you know, just because we're women doesn't make what we do as a sport any different than what, you know, a man is doing. So yeah, we train with, sometimes people even work out, like women work out with men's balls, you know, our ball is different. So that's probably about it. But the actual rim being lower, absolutely not. Like people say, oh, it can be faster, it'll be more girls dunking and this and that, but there's girls dunking on 10 feet. So there's no reason, or like there's just no reason to me to lower the rim at all to try to speed our game up. I mean, I think the way our game is played is great, and a lot of people turn to W to see how basketball really is played. If you take away, you know, people dunking and just all the super athleticism like that, we play basketball the right way. Not saying that men don't, but it's much more, you know, fundamental, and we're still doing it on the 10-foot rim.
Exactly. I feel you. I feel you. So to all the people that feel like the WNBA could be a better product if there were these little things that they fixed or they added, what do you have to say to them?
I mean, I think the WNBA is doing a great job of just promoting, you know, just where it started and where it's at now. You can clearly see a difference in, you know, visibility and people supporting the W and women's sports as a whole. So, like I said, I think women's sports is at the top right now. And so many people are tuned in and trying to get on that wave. But, you know, we've been on that wave. You know, we're part of the product. And I feel like, you know, once you put it out there, we're not going to disappoint. And that's why I think the biggest thing with the W was just to put ourselves out there, just to be seen, be heard, be talked about. Just get eyes on us, because the product that we give out and show, you know, I think that's going to, you know, attract a lot of fans, people that want to support us.
I agree. And then Tiffany, how can we not get paid what we're supposed to be paid as super athletes? Because that's what, and again, this is another, you know, controversial conversation, but it's I feel like things are obviously getting better. We're seeing more women getting paid what they're worth. There's more, you know, women's sports on these bigger networks and things like that. But there's still a gap.
For sure.
So why do you feel like it's just like it's not happening faster than what is happening, right? You know, what it should be, I feel. Or do you feel like, you know, we are where we should be right now?
No, I mean, like I said, I'd rather have slow progress than no progress. We've definitely come a long way since, you know, since when the W started. You know, it's still pretty new compared to, you know, the NBA. So like you can't ask for us to be where the NBA is, and we also don't have, you know, the type of marketing and the money that they're bringing in, all the collaborations that they have with certain like ESPN, everything like that. Like all of that is helping the NBA grow and bringing them in money, which we don't have at the time, but at least right now. So my, you know, my goal and my vision, at least for the W, is to, you know, 10, 15 years from now, hopefully we're not having this conversation. Hopefully, you know, we're not really making LeBron money. And that's, I feel like that's not what we're asking to,
Right.
but it is also like, you know, support, you know, what we're doing. Like we're literally doing the same exact thing as them. We're playing the same exact game. And it's just a little harder for us to get to that, you know, point financially, where they are. So I think, like I said, slow progress is better than no progress for me.
Yeah.
As long as, you know, we're putting ourselves in the position to be better later. I mean, that's really all you can hope for right now.
Look, I feel you on that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think I'm happy to see that things are
Mm,
progressing. Like you said, I don't think you know, women's sports hasn't been around as long as men's sports, obviously.
mm-hmm.
So, you know, we are, you know, still some years behind.
Yeah.
But I think as long as we're seeing, you know, things happen and, you know, we're getting more opportunities, we're getting more
Yeah.
sponsorship, you
Mm-hmm.
know, more TV deals,
Yeah.
things like that. I think that's all that matters, and we are seeing that. So I feel like I'm happy. Last year, might have been a different conversation, but I feel
Yeah.
like, you know, things are progressing,
Yeah.
and as long as that's happening, then I feel like we're in a good position.
Yeah.
So how has being a professional athlete shaped you personally and professionally?
Mm, let's see. Personally, um, you know, I'm all for, you know, kids playing a team sport early.
Yeah.
I think it really just helps you as an adult, just adapt to different people, different experiences. And, you know, like with us at the W, we also have to go overseas to kind of combat, you know, what we just talked about and not get paid enough in the W. A lot of us go overseas to also, you know, make more money in the off season. So just with me, even my experiences with that, you know, when I was 21 years old, I spent 8 months in Russia.
Oh, man.
So I mean, that just goes to show you, like, if you're not like as a player, you know, you're put in so many different positions, especially as a women's basketball player, and of color. So
Yeah.
you add put all three of those things, you know, it's a lot of stuff that's working against you, and you have to kind of figure out how, you know, to kind of prepare yourself over everything that's, you know, against you, like I said. So personally, I think playing basketball and playing a different team, playing in different countries has really just helped me not be so, I guess, small minded. I'm very open to like literally everything, like how I accept people and who they are and what they've been through. You know, I'm super non-judgmental. You can never judge a book by its cover, and I think that's all just been a tribute to basketball. You know, like basketball has literally took me around the world and met so many different people and built so many different relationships that I cherish now forever. Like, you know, teammates have now become family to me. And I built relationships just off of simply playing a sport. So I think personally, like that's kind of how much basketball and being professional has helped me in that manner. And what was the other part of the question?
Oh, professionally.
Okay.
No, yeah, that was a good answer. So,
Okay.
but you,
Like I feel like I was kind of trying to hit everything.
no,
Hit
that
all.
was
Yeah.
perfect. That. Look, somebody need to hear that. So that was perfect. Okay, so then, what would you tell a little girl whose dream is to become you? She wants to make it to the WNBA. She wants to go to college. She might want to play under Don.
Mm-hmm.
What would be your advice to that little girl?
My advice. Let's see. They want to become me. Let's see.
Because there's a lot of little girls that look up to you.
Yeah. I know, and that still is crazy to me. Like, just kind of the impact that I have. I really don't even know. I just go every day, kind of just living like myself,
Yeah.
and don't really think about it. But there's definitely a lot of people that look up to me. But I mean, I guess I would tell them just kind of stay true to who you are. I mean, I think nowadays, especially like social media era, can definitely kind of get you outside of trying to be somebody that you're not. I think if I was like when I was younger, of course, like growing up, and we played AAU in college and stuff like that, social media wasn't as big, especially now in college with this NIL era. People making more, like they making money, like,
Yeah,
and
they're
money
making money,
talks,
money.
you know.
Yeah.
Money talks. Money. People say money can't buy happiness, but shit, I'm like, it can make you happy though.
Right. Facts. It
So
can add to it.
yeah, so in the midst of all of that and want to be good at your sport, you know, you gotta stay true to who you are. You know, people are gonna want to attract themselves to you just based off of who you are and how you carry yourself and the person that you are. If you try to be something different than that, then along the way you're probably gonna, you know, see some failure because you're not being authentically yourself. You know, you
Yeah.
can't put on a front forever.
Exactly.
So I would say, you know, just kind of, it'll be easy if you be who you are. You know, people like you, they like you. If they don't, they don't. And
Yeah.
but that doesn't change, you know, how you move and how you carry yourself and how you approach people, how you talk to people. I think that would be my biggest advice.
I love that.
Yeah.
I know somebody needs to hear that.
Yeah.
So all the parents that heard that, make sure y'all deliver the message to your youngins because, yes, like you said, I think that's something that has happened a lot with, and I hate to sound like my mom, but but
It's
social media
mm-hmm.
has had an impact on people being authentic,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because people are seeing all these different influencers,
Yeah.
they're becoming fans, and it's like, man, I really want to actually embody this
Mm-hmm.
person, and they lose themselves,
Right.
and when they're not able to live up to that person's, you know, expectations or life or whatever it may be, lifestyle, then
Mm-hmm.
depression sets in, and many other things happen, and then self-esteem issues and all these other things, especially little girls.
Right.
It's the expectations right now is crazy to me.
I
Like
already
it's just
know.
like, please, just who you are today is enough.
Exactly.
You don't got to be nothing else. You don't got to do nothing else, but just be you, and you're good. I promise
Mm-hmm.
you.
Yeah.
So I love you. I love that. I love you saying that because a lot of these kids
Yeah.
need to hear that. You know, you're not going to. You can't be anybody else. You might dress like them, talk like them, even act like them, but you are who you are. You're one of one. That's who God created you to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just embody that, love that, and that's gonna take you far in life, right? If you just continue to stick to who you are.
Amen.
Right. So I love that. I love that. So, all right, can we have some fun real quick? Because I know I had you on the hot seat, right?
All
I was
right.
asking some intense questions. Okay. So we're gonna do a segment, right?
Okay.
It's called intentional dating.
Oh.
First of all, are you single?
I am.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Because if you're not, we was gonna X that out, right?
No, I am looking for my king out there somewhere.
Look, okay, we might find him tonight. So look, so how we do it is called intentional dating. So I'm gonna ask you a few questions, kind of about your love life. You just talk to us, right? So the first question: what is your ideal man? What does he look like? What is his energy? What are your non-negotiables? Like, what is his traits? Like, just give us all the tea.
Let's see. Oh my God, this is for sure. Let's see. Where do I even start? For me, I would say, you know, for my perfect guy. I know no one is perfect, but if I had to build, you know,
Build a bear.
my perfect, if I had to build a man, this is kind of how I would want him. You know, physically, of course, I feel like you would have to go to the gym. Not necessarily saying you have to be an athlete, but I do want you to have the mindset and the lifestyle of just being active. That is really important to me, being that is my lifestyle. And that's just kind of how I get things going. Like I said, you don't have to necessarily be an athlete, but I do think that's important just to have the mindset of just being healthy, being active, things like that.
Hold on. Somebody say, can he be shorter than you? How tall are you?
I'm 5'10".
Okay. So
I would prefer my man to be over 6 feet.
sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I mean, she's a basketball player. What you expect?
Like, I'm not saying that.
What if he's 5'9" though? Or what if he's exactly 5'10"?
Exactly my height, you know?
Y'all look at each other in the eye.
He gonna have to check some boxes for me to kind of look past that.
Right. Look.
Which is possible. You know, I'm not kidding. We're just talking about, look, I'm just building.
Okay, no, go ahead.
Let
me stop interrupting. Keep going.
My perfect man might be 5'10". I never know. But, you know, preferably, I would prefer taller than me.
Okay.
Let's see. I think you have to be, you know, ambitious. Your mindset and how you think and how you approach life is really important to me. Because, you know, nowadays, like I said, nowadays it's like everybody is like kind of looking for what you can do for them. And I feel like I'm in a position where I don't look for that. You know, yeah. I have what I have, and I'm very comfortable with how I live. And I want my man to kind of, you know, think and be the same way. And then when we join forces, we build together. So okay. I have mine, you have yours, but we're going to be, you know, a couple and together. I would want you to at least, you know, have the mindset where you're not, you know, trying to get after mine. I'm not trying to get after yours, but if we're together, I do want us to kind of grow together. And I like that mindset of just the man that's, you know, go get his, you know, go get her, a hustler, you know, just get after it. You know, that's attractive to me. And you have your own motion and your own movement. I like that because I have my own. So, you know, it's just goes hand in hand. Let's
ask this question. I gotta do it.
Okay.
Can he make less than you? He can. Okay. Is there a limit? Does he have to make a certain amount? Look, I'm trying to get all the details. So that you ain't got nobody that is disqualified messaging you.
Look, you don't have to be a millionaire, you know, to be with me, be around me. I'm fine with, like I said, you just need some motion. I feel like if you are grinding in whatever field that is, I'm okay with it because, you know, you have a life, you're working for yours, and that's really important to me as a man. I do, you know, expect my man to lead this relationship. I feel like I'm very much a alpha female and pretty dominant as a female, but I don't want to be dominant and alpha in my relationship. I do want my man to kind of take that over, and I want to have a place where I can be submissive finally, because in my job, I have to be in control a lot. I have to stand on my shit a lot. So, and I'm about my business in my job. When I come home, I don't want to have to feel that same energy with my man. I need my man to be able to come along, you know, and, you know, release some of that pressure that I'm always having to, you know, put on during my sport and stuff like that. So that's pretty important to me. And what'd you say? Can they make less? Yeah, they can make less. How less?
Look, I'm trying not to laugh. You're just taking a deep breath. So.
I mean, I don't know if it's an actual number, but like realistically, you know, when just two people are around each other and you can just tell based off of how you live and how you carry yourself, I feel like there needs to be at least a level of equalness, comparison, just in lifestyle, because if not, then I feel like eventually it'll be problems, you know, down the road. Like something's going to happen where it's going to cause problems based off of me making more money, you making less money, especially, you know, with men and like their pride and their woman being kind of like the head of the house. A lot of men can't handle that. And, you know, come into contact where, you know, men say they want their own independent woman and a girl that got their own stuff together. And then when you get her, you don't know how to handle her. Look, you don't know how to handle her. So I think that just comes with the man being mature. And just, you know, insecurities, that's huge in men as well, dealing with, you know, females that play sports, then especially male dominant sport. Like I work out, I'm in the gym a lot, I'm around a lot of men, you know, like you can't be insecure than who you are if you're going to be with me.
Facts. So look, y'all done got the whole rundown. Do you like, does it matter what ethnicity or anything, or, you know?
I say no, but I haven't dated outside of my race, to be honest. So I do love me a black man, black king, like I said, but it is not like I'm like, don't want someone else, or I wouldn't based off of their race. It's just kind of what I'm attracted to.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, last question. What will be your ideal date, like first date? First, and another question. Does he have to be like in your city, or can he live somewhere else?
I mean, I've had, you know, been in relationships in the past. A lot of my relationships have been in long distance. Like I said, I go overseas, I play in different cities. So it's very rare actually that me and the guy that I'm with or talking to live in the same city anyways. I would prefer that because, like I said, I'm gone to travel a lot. So one of my love languages is quality time. So I want to see you, I want to hang out with you, you know, vibe with you, stuff like that. But I have to be, you know, in the city, you know.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, oh wait, no, sorry. The last question. What is your ideal date?
Ideal date,
First
first date,
date.
the
Yeah.
first date, or just a date in
First.
general?
First date.
A
Like,
first date?
what would impress you? Like, oh, okay, like you might be, you might be alright. Like,
Um, I need someone. Well, let me see. I'm fine with like just going to a restaurant, chilling, talking, some wine, stuff like
okay.
that. Just really not super fancy. I would say it for the first date. It's kind of like get to know you. Let's see, vibe with each other, and kind of see where this will go. And then I think after that, that's kind of when you build into like actually being more intentional with how you plan a date for this person. So, but I would say like first date could be pretty, I wouldn't say basic, because if you come with some basic stuff, like I'm probably not going to give you another date.
Right.
But someone probably need to come with enough to make me feel like, okay, this might go.
Trying.
Yeah, he trying at least. This might go somewhere. And then your conversation is really important to me. Like if I feel like I'm talking to a wall,
it's a no-go.
No, now I'm gonna be like, all right, well, I could just came and ate by myself.
Right. Facts. Okay. All right, fellas. Look, if you fit that description, it sounds like your DMs is open. I'm not saying that, but they might be. So, okay. So I got a few. I got one more question. So, what do you have coming up? What can we watch? What can we tune into? Kind of let us know what's coming up for you.
Yes. So basketball wise, there's a league in Dallas, Athletes Unlimited, that starts at the end of February. So I'll be playing in that for like 4 to 5 weeks. Just a league to give people who don't go overseas another opportunity to compete right before our season starts in like April. So for me, this is my first year that I won't be overseas. So that would be a good opportunity to still stay in the States, still play against some competition, and just kind of work on my game and get ready before the season starts. And let's see, I forgot to mention that I'm also a personal trainer, so I have my own business as called Tif Fit. So right now I am accepting clients online. I do online training, so you get customized workouts, you get customized meal plans. So I'm also doing that currently on top of playing.
I love that. Look, more than an athlete.
Yeah.
That's important. I love that. Well, look, thank you so much, Tiffany. Thank you for being a good sport. I know I put you on the hot seat a little bit. So I appreciate you. Again, I'm looking forward to your season for year 2. I know you're going to kill it. And I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. This was fun.
Yes. Have a good one.
You too.